Testing, testing. One, two, three. Are we recording? Yes, we are. Hopefully, you can't hear the background music. We're about to drop in. We're about to drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Not just kidding. We're going to drop it like it's the 8-8 portal. And we're going to hold space for, not for what is not in harmony within us. And the reason today feels like such a significant day to do that. Hold on. I was just testing things out and then I just roll as soon as it gets into it. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Great. No background noise. Okay. Maybe we'll just roll with it. There's a bug on my screen. Okay. So bringing in love to those parts of ourselves that aren't feeling so loved. And what better day to do that than the 88 portal? Manifestation Day, Lionsgate, all these fun things. Um, Sirius, I think it's Sirius, the star is close to Earth. It's the closest star we have that's like the sun, I think. Anyways, there's all these big alignments happening in the sky. The stars are aligning for us to create and design and align with our destiny path. So why the heck not? Why the heck not? Set some intentions, clear out any stuff that might be causing blockages in the manifestation realms for us, bringing love to those parts of ourselves that are keeping us from actually receiving what we are so worthy of. Yeah. So, how are we feeling? Just to drop into the body. I'm going to try not to overanalyze where my camera is and if you can hear me and the lighting behind me and in front of me and blah, blah, blah. Because what I'm really here to do is to share my voice, and I will procrastinate perfectioning everything around me until I die. And I will never share my voice, so I'm just going to do it. And please forgive me if it's not perfection. Um, yeah. So just dropping in and creating some space for us to bring some awareness to that which is in need of greater harmony or love internally right now. Right off the bat, my need for control, the need for things to be perfect. Maybe there's some things coming up for you, and I just want to tune into the collective that's listening here for a minute and just feel into the heaviness that some of you are experiencing. Maybe there's some grief in there. Maybe there's some overwhelm. Maybe you're a tired mama or a tired papa. Maybe you're feeling burnt out, overworked, just unloved in some areas. And that's okay. We're not dipping into these emotions so that we can hang out in the dissatisfactions of our lives. We are simply creating a very loving environment for them to be loved, because these parts of ourselves are the most neglected. These are the parts of ourselves that crave love the most. These are the parts of us that would leave if they just got that love that they needed, or if they were received, right? Unconditional love is to give love and to be received. So to give and to receive unconditionally, right? It's that figure eight here. We're in the 8-8 portal, talk about infinity. It is the unconditional giving and receiving. And so that means that we actually need to be received when giving love. Mm. We need to be received when giving love. And by being received, we feel then loved in return. As I'm saying this, my humanness is trying to catch up with what's coming out of my mouth. And so forgive me while I also digest these words with you and process. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I feel like there's so many avenues that we are feeling collectively and individually, but they all flow into the same realm. We're all dying and rebirthing to some extent right now. We could say it's the new earth. We could say it's the 8-8 portal. We could say it's just life changing around you and the world doing its thing. But on the deepest level, internally, there is something very much shifting within us individually and as a whole. There's something much, much deeper than the ocean floor. So if you're here to stay for the long run, grab yourself a tea, maybe a blankie, get cozy, or wherever you are, really allow yourself to just drop into this space because truths come through and they are best received when you are in receiving mode, when we are in receiving mode. And how do we get into receiving mode? Oof, we relax. We relax. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? We relax. We relax. So all this efforting to get more is actually not in alignment. You know how we effort our way through our jobs and we effort our way through life, trying to get more out of life? That actually puts you in the opposite frequency or vibration or whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. Then what actually helps you receive more? We are most receptive when we are most relaxed. We are most receptive when we are in our deepest state of calm, trust, faith, just ease. That is when we are most receptive. And so maybe that is what is coming through for the collective today in this healing and bringing harmony to what is not in harmony, is this need to effort, this need to pry, push, pull, force, effort our way to get what we want. And this part of ourselves that think they have to suffer, that think they have to tirelessly work until burnout, that think they need to be ill on their deathbed to be worthy of great, amazing life and opportunity and money and relationship. Maybe life is the core foundation is you and you, your relationship with you. And when your relationship with you is in the most harmonious place, is is where you constantly can meet all parts of yourself with grace, even the shame and the guilt and the deepest parts of you that ache so loud and feel so bleh. loving and meeting these parts of ourselves with that grace, with that intention just to love. Mm, the parts of us that are scared, that are afraid to speak up, to speak out, to speak our truths. We all have a voice that's meant to communicate something, that's meant to share something, that's meant to offer something into the world. Your voice is your power. What is your voice? What do you want to say? What do you want to say? What do you want to say that you're holding in? I don't know where we're going. I don't know what kind of path we're on, my friends, but we are unraveling, and that's what I'm here to do with you. Unravel. Unravel so that we can release what limits us. That is the unraveling. Because by releasing what limits us, what happens next? We become limitless. We become limitless. It's an inside game, my friends. It's an inside game. And if you're here, you probably already well know what that means. And if you don't know what that means, it means we've been taught to drive life outside of the car. And we are out there turning the wheels, grinding the gears, chugging the engine. We're in there trying to manually get the car to move. When in reality, there's a very simple way to drive from the inside, which is inside here, which is when we go within and we deal with the stuff happening inside of ourselves, inside of our body and our brain, and ugh, there's so much muck in there, and we pluck the weeds and we clear this muck that is polluting our inner world. It starts to change the way our outer world manifests, the way it unravels, the way it flows, the way life happens starts to change when you change the life happening in here and in here. And you don't have to believe this, but if you try it and you see the truth of the results, you don't need me to tell you. But what you probably have seen and already know is the way that we've been doing life and efforting and working these 9 to 5 and following the game and playing the roles and the masks and wearing all the shades life wants you to wear and that we've been taught to wear and to climb the ladders and make lots of money and buy big houses and whatever the game is. And then like you can very well see that that's not working for most of us. It's not working for actually anyone. And those who it's working for have mastered the internal game. So coming back to receiving, I'm just on a little rant here, doing the dance. This is how my voice dances in full expression. I want to read something to you guys that is in this book. And I leave it open and I read it quite randomly throughout my day to day. And this is what I read this morning. Patterns of our attitudes, our belief systems, and the presence or absence of an exquisite energy frequency or grace that we can activate by calling back our spirits from negative attachments. And what is a negative attachment? A negative attachment is something that we are clinging on to, whether that's resentment, fear, a past identity, a past story, a something that mom said when you were very young, or something that dad said. My dad said to me, I loved to sing when I was very young, and bless his heart, I don't think obviously he didn't understand the degree of the impact this had on me at the time, but I was very young and I used to sing in the car. I would sing in front of everybody. I didn't care who was around. And I would just belt my voice, like an 8-year-old does. And he turned around and he said, I remember this. I remember this so vividly. He said, you should probably pick something else because you're not very good. And I don't remember singing after that. It was almost I had made a commitment to myself that I wouldn't speak, or I would never sing again. And this became a block for my voice. And the sad thing is that my voice is actually how I activate people. It's how I embrace myself. It's how I exert energy and emotion sometimes. Like, I like to yell and scream and moan and groan and create all kinds of I really like to express myself through my voice. And so shutting that down created a lot of stuff. But anyways, coming back to negative attachments, this is an example of what can create a negative attachment. Is one of these moments in our history or our past that and when I say history, I mean like ancestral history. Like, maybe this happened to your mom or your mom's mom, or maybe our mom's 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 mom was suppressed, and then she suppressed the next one, and then she suppressed the next one, and she suppressed the next one, because we're just trying to protect each other. The family, like the lineage, that's what we do. We protect each other. So we're like, hey, don't do that. I tried it. It didn't work. You know, learn through my mistakes. And that's what we want to do. But we also didn't realize that we are bloodlines of suppression in many forms, not just our voices, but our gifts, our intuitive abilities, our psychic capacities. Um, I know so many humans, and I know I'm trailing as we do. I know so many humans that have this feeling that they're not from Earth, that they are star people, or that they are, and maybe not star people or star seeds, or maybe you don't identify with these words. I definitely didn't for a really long time. I didn't even know how to. I was just like, I just know this place doesn't feel like home to me. And I know a lot of us that feel that way, and that feeling alone should tell you, or could offer you, that maybe you have greater abilities than what just being human, or the picture of what being a human is painted like, or looks like, or how they are supposed to be, right? And if you have that feeling that this is doesn't feel like home, and you feel like an outsider and you just don't belong, it's probably because you have a ton of gifts and you are an incredibly talented being with a lot to offer. And that requires you to go outside the norm. That requires you to step outside the box. And if you can already see that you weren't actually born to be in the box to begin with, that you aren't actually of the same breed maybe that stay in the box, then you allow yourself to explore these senses, or these psychic abilities, or whatever you want to call them. Like, they they don't have to be airy fairy or woo woo. And when I say woo woo, I think of like how society made like witchcraft and all that stuff. I don't identify as a witch or use these words or these terminologies because I think they have so many negative attachments to them. Talking about negative attachments again, we have all these negative attachments to psychics, but maybe we're just gifted. Maybe we're just humans with greater sensitivity and higher capacity. And I think that isn't something that we should shame or we should look at and be like, you're a witch or you're a this or um you're a psychic or she's a fairy or I don't know. All these words, they're so attached to like Disney in my brain and like cartoons and which seems animated, right? It's all animated, it's made up. Um but there's some element of magic and miracles in life. Oh, and then the next phrase in this book, which I'll read because it feels significant in this moment. A Course in Miracles says, miracles are natural. Something is wrong when they don't happen. Something is wrong when they don't happen. Like, life is one big miracle after another. How many times have you been driving down the road and just about hit that wall or that stop sign or that deer? How many times did glance down at your phone or was doing something and just had the intuitive instinct to turn around or go upstairs and the baby was falling out of the crib or something other than this? As an example, and the story that's coming to mind is when my brother was 4 years old, we were on the houseboat and my little brother at a very young age would just jump off the top of the houseboat. And it was something we did when the houseboat was stopped and we all jumped in with life jackets. Woo, fun. Um, but he would go all the way up the stairs to the top, so it's quite high up. And the boat was moving at this point. We were moving destinations or on our way back to the marina, and my dad just had this intuitive instinct to go upstairs, and my little brother was about to jump. He had his foot on the railing and no life jacket on, and so dad got this instinctive pull, go put a life jacket on him, brought him back downstairs, was like, chill, buddy, just, stay inside the boat. Don't go upstairs, don't go outside. Like we're moving, we're going somewhere. Just relax. And sure enough, 15 minutes later, my dad's heart, this is how he expressed it. His heart sunk into his belly. He was on the phone with my mom at the time, and he went, I have to go. And he knew something was wrong. And he looks into the distance. He said it was about a football field away. He could see this little orange life jacket floating. And I don't know if you know how fast houseboats move, but not very fast. So my Uncle Jerry at the time, he jumped in the water and he swam. He swam to my little brother that was bobbing in the water, 4 years old. But let's be honest, he wasn't like a normal 4 year old. I think me and my brothers all have this very advanced. So we'll say he was like 8, mature wise. Emotionally, he was 8. Um, but he was 4, and he's okay. He's alive. And he did it for fun. Like it was to him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this jump." And we got him back on the boat, and I'm fairly certain he went upstairs and went to go jump off the boat again. Like he just loved that part, but didn't think of the consequences after that part. He was just like, no, I just love to jump off high things. Anyways, so he's fine, but there are these moments in life, right? There are these things in life that lead us and guide us and and that is your intuition, and that's the greatest navigator. That's your inner compass. And when you learn and you can tap into that inner compass, it can help you lead your way through life with more ease. And then you can strengthen that in various ways. And so, anyways, definitely on a tangent here. Let's read another part of this book. Mm. It says, I don't know why this is significant, but we're going to read it. I would have choked if I had lain back when suddenly my head fell forward and I was instantly on the outside of the ambulance floating down the highway while observing through the ambulance window my body and the frantic activity of the rescue workers to save me. Suddenly I was euphoric, completely light and vibrationally alive in a way I had never been before. It occurred to me that I was out of my body, perhaps even dead. I awaited the tunnel I had heard so much about, but none appeared. Instead, I felt myself drifting away from the earth. I entered into a state of calm, so intense that remembering it even now has a powerful effect on me. When I saw him, then I saw an image of Norm. He was standing on the stage, preparing to give a lecture, holding up a copy of The Creation of Health. I heard him say, "I thought this was going to be the beginning of our work together, but it has sadly turned out to be the end." Well, I don't know what significance that holds. We're going to keep going. I got an urgent desire to return to my body, to regain physical life, and immediately I felt myself racing toward and into my body. After this experience, I had asked myself only the question, why didn't I see my publishing company from that state? I knew then I would leave the company and pursue medical intuition for the rest of my life. Just to give you guys an idea of what's going on here, this is called The Autonomy of the Spirit by Caroline Miss. The 7 stages of power and healing. And so obviously she had an accident, which resulted in a near-death experience. She And so I want to take that into account. This is like a huge perspective shift is when you zoom out, right? Those near-death experiences, those moments that cause us to zoom out and take ourselves out of just this experience of suffering or whatever we're in. When we zoom out and we see the bigger picture and we see this divine dance and our significant part in it, even amongst our suffering and turmoil and the challenges and obstacles we face, there's some significance to its unraveling. And when we zoom out and we look at that and we see that actually there's something much, much deeper for me to do here. And it doesn't have to be this big, bold, grand thing. Maybe you're just here to read stories to children or share your story or share what you're passionate about or paint pictures. I don't know, whatever that is for you. Sometimes it requires us to zoom out and take ourselves out of our little drama, which is what's happening in this moment, to oh, yawns are good. Yawns mean we're moving energy. Mm, moving energy. And so bringing it back to what this is all about is bringing harmony into those places of ourselves, those parts of us that are in need of harmony. I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like there's energy moving in my body, and I've just got to move it. Excuse me. Sorry, I should learn to move away from the microphone while I'm burping. Um, yeah, wow, there's all kinds of energy moving. I really feel like I could take a nap now. And that's the beauty of when we hold space and we give love to the parts of ourselves that we've been running from. When we stop running, when we stop running, when we stop running, we often feel exhausted because we've been running for a very, very long time. And not just us, but our mums and our grandmothers and our grandfathers and our dads and we have a whole lineage of runners. And that's nobody's fault. It's just where we are. And if you're here, you're one of the divine ones that's here to help shift that pattern, breaking through it. That might be significant video is the one I'm Um, it's called, what is it called? Anyways, it would have been posted just recently. Part one and part two of don't know. Anyways, my friends, I think I'm gonna end it there. You'll see it. It's in, if you go check out my videos, it was one of the recent ones that I just posted the day before this one. I love you all. I hope you have a very blessed rest of your day and that you were able to gain something from this of value and maybe something to share. Mm. I love you all so much. Thank you again for your likes, shares, and comments, subscribes. It does mean a lot and it really helps spread the love in the world. Have a blessed rest of your day. Until next time. Bye for now.